When people ask me, why is it important to have happy employees? It is probably one of the most competitive advantages that any company can have today. Successful companies today understand that having a happy workforce or happy employees gives them a tremendous competitive advantage. Why? Because as I discovered by interviewing the companies that I write about in the book and the companies I've worked with over the years that I talk about, happy employees are the ones that are going to want to come to work not because they have to, but because they want to. So companies that have happy employees, and I was one of them for 15 years at Southwest Airlines. That's how I recognize it. That's how I learned it. That's why when I left Southwest, writing my first book, I recognized this stuff is really powerful. This is information that a lot of companies may not understand. They know that they want them. They don't necessarily know how to create them. In 2004, my father got very, very ill, and I had to make one of the most difficult choices to leave Southwest Airlines. And after I left, I kept thinking, what has this company done to make me so loyal? So I wrote my first book, and as soon as that book, Lessons in Loyalty, came out, I began to get calls from companies all over the world who wanted to know, how can we implement these principles for us? And so as I began to work with different companies like State Farm and McDonald's and some of these big players in the market, I began to realize that it doesn't matter how big or how small you are, these principles work. I wanted to share the message that I don't care if you have 3 employees and I don't care if you have 30,000 employees. My passion has always been, I'd love for every company to have the kind of culture that says, we have great employees, and really mean it. It wasn't just something they checked the box off of. And so many times as I went to work with companies, I realized they didn't necessarily have the full blueprint that I wanted them to have, that I knew worked, not only through Southwest Airlines, but through some of the work that I had with my clients. So my desire, my hope is that when you read the book, you may already be doing a lot of those things. There's not going to be anything that's rocket science, but what it is going to do for you, and this is my hope, is that it will tie it all together for you to say, I've been doing this part of it really well, and you know what, we've kind of been ignoring this part. So if we add this piece to it, it's just going to help us be a much more effective company. Even when times are tough, you're going to find a way out of them, not because you're doing it, but because your people are helping you do it. As I said earlier, that last competitive advantage that so many people are not recognizing, my hope is that you'll read it and you'll be able to tie it all together and say, whoa, I've been doing this really well, and I think I could do this a little bit better. This book will give you the steps to create that happy workplace that everybody is seeking today.